Well, Khalil Jahshan is Executive Director of the Arab Center of Washington. He joins us via Skype from Washington, D.C. Khalil, how significant, then, is this latest revelation by the New York Times, which says Jamal Khashoggi's killing was part of a broader campaign against dissidents by Saudi Arabia? It wasn't just him singularly who was targeted.
I think it's a very significant revelation in the sense that it puts in context the murder of Jamal Khashoggi, that this was not as pretended, at least for a while, by Saudi officials, that it was totally isolated and a mistake. Clearly, it's not isolated. Neither was it a mistake. It was part of a covert campaign that started more than a year before the murder of Khashoggi and involved at least a dozen of incidents, according to this excellent report by the New York Times, different operations in different countries, as your report just indicated, that included surveillance, kidnap, torture, forcible repatriation to the kingdom, detention illegally, in other words, administrative detention without charges, and abuse of prisoners. This is very significant information and basically puts the Khashoggi murder in a historical context.
And that's an important point you make, Khalil, because Mohammed bin Salman, the Crown Prince, says, look, he didn't give the order to kill Khashoggi, but this article seems to contradict that, saying this was all part of a much wider campaign which the New York Times believes was started up when the Crown Prince came to power.
Exactly. I think it's great that the article does admit, if you will, that this type of behavior did exist before. However, it clearly indicates that there was an escalation after Mohammed bin Salman took over as Crown Prince and decided to crack down on dissent in Saudi Arabia, particularly dissent outside of the kingdom by Saudi citizens. And that ended up contributing. When you look at this group specifically that your report referred to, the Saudi Rapid Intervention Group, it's kind of a strange name, as if it's like a military battle against Saudi civilian citizens of the kingdom. But still, that was entrusted with cracking down, with pressuring, with chasing these people around different countries and bringing him home to be punished illegally.
Khalil, just a final thought from you, because obviously you're there in Washington, D.C. Let's talk about President Trump briefly, if we can, because he and his administration are saying, look, it's business as usual with the Saudis. So are these latest revelations by the Times likely to have any political impact, do you think?
Not on Trump personally or on his immediate circle, I doubt it. But I think I agree with your report that continuous, basically, investigation by different media, whether the New York Times, the Washington Post, and others, international media, if you will continue to expose more facts in the future and will continue to add momentum to the investigation, particularly in Congress. It's still at its early stage, and it will clearly generate some pressure down the road on the administration to change its very biased attitude toward this very serious crime that was committed with the murder of Khashoggi.
Khalil Jahshan, thank you very much indeed for talking to Al Jazeera.